Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Realme GT. Now I unboxed this back in July, I believe it was. So I've had 2 whole months with this smartphone. I've been using it for 2 months. Ideally, in my eyes, that's the way smartphone reviews should go. Use it for a couple of months, really get to understand it, iron out any sort of issues that you may have found with it, and then come back 2 months later with a full, dedicated and trustworthy review. A lot of the time, myself included, I'll get a phone on the Saturday, say Friday or Saturday, unbox it, and then the review will be the following week, 7 days later. Most of the time, and that's the world we live in, the society we live in. YouTube is all about bang, get out there quick, now, first. So a lot of us do that. So in those 7 days, we try and learn everything about it and just tell you our opinions and thoughts over those 7 days. But I think over 2 months, you get a sort of a better understanding and more of a better judgment on how the Realme GT or any phone is going to fit into your life. So yes, 2 months I've had this. I've been doing lots of other stuff as well, so that's why this review has been delayed. Now I want to give a massive thank you to Tech Tablets and obviously Realme as well. They created this giveaway and they wanted to give away the phone to some people to review it as well. I was the chosen one, so thank you very much to Tech Tablets and Realme. It's been a joy to use. So let's get into the review. So the Realme GT is priced at £399, say £400. And for me, that is a mid-range priced smartphone, but it has the Snapdragon 888, which is a flagship chip. Although there is the Snapdragon 888 Plus, which are coming out on a few phones lately. But yeah, flagship specs, 8GB of RAM in there. We have a 65-watt super dart charge. When I did do a video on this a few weeks back, and yeah, it charges 100% within about half an hour. You can check that out in the card above there. Now we have a 120Hz Super AMOLED display. Superb display, really loved using this phone with the display. It's so smooth and crisp. We have no issues in the display apartment. And if you come around and look at the whole body, the glass back, obviously glass front, it's a solid frame. I think that's actually plastic, though it doesn't really feel it. But it feels really nice to hold as well. It does feel like a premium device. Although I have been using the Galaxy Fold, Z Fold 3, for the last week, and jumping from that to this is such a refreshing change. It's much lighter. I forgot how light this was. This is a light smartphone. I just enjoy holding this more than the Z3. I think the Z3 is just a bit chunky, a bit heavy as well. So it's nice to come back to this, reevaluate, and then come back for this review. But yeah, build quality, design is fantastic. Now, it doesn't have wireless charging, and there's no IP rating for it either. So that part of the flagship is out. So we can't call it a flagship in that respect. So on the Realme GT, you get a fingerprint sensor, which is in-screen fingerprint sensor. I do prefer like a side-loaded fingerprint sensor or at the back. But I've got to tell you, I've got used to this one. It's responsive and rapid, just as long as you find it. And there's also Face ID as well, which is absolutely rapid as well. So in terms of getting into the phone, security, it's absolutely fine. So it's got flagship specs in terms of powering the device, the Snapdragon 888, and yet you can run games on it absolutely fine. Call of Duty max settings in graphics and frame rate, and gaming is a joy. It's got a huge 6.43-inch display as well, with a resolution of 1080p. But yeah, this smartphone is perfect for gaming as well. In terms of OS, it has Android 11 with Realme 2.0 over the top. I do like the software on the phone, more so than MIUI. I think it's more cleaner, there's less bloatware. I do really like the OS on the Realme. It has 128GB of internal storage at UFS 3.1, so accessing files and pictures is absolutely snappy, just what you need. It's got everything flagship apart from the cameras. It seems like a bit of a broken record, really. All these sort of flagship killers, all these really interesting phones that are coming out, they have fast chipsets, fantastic displays, but they always seem to suffer in the camera department, or they don't have wireless charging, or they don't have a full IP rating either. That's exactly the same for this, the Realme GT. But that's not to say the specs are poor. I mean, we have a 64 megapixel Sony triple camera. It's capable of 4K 60 with stabilization as well. So that is really good. And I think the overall video quality that I have captured has been decent. Following the camera car.
I know, I will go get a couple more minutes. Just be gentle, okay? Say knock knock, can I come in?
Yeah, that's the public in here downstairs.
Are you wearing my shoes?
No. A nice run bath. Obviously low light does let it down a little bit. Overall, I think the pictures are very good also, but there's been a few glitches. So I took some pictures when I was out, and not knowing until a couple of hours later when I go to check, there wasn't really anything taken at all, or there was like this weird sort of colour, it was all black. That needs fixing, and it struggles with skin tone sometimes. It can oversaturate a lot. It really oversaturates the greens and the reds, I think, really, on the cameras. Overall, I think the cameras are good, but they're not flagship quality. So you do get stereo speakers with the Realme GT, and on the whole, they're all right. They get the job done. Now, a massive plus for most people is you get a 3.5mm socket in there. So if you do like your wired headphones or earphones, that is not a problem there. So in the phone, you have a 4,500 milliamp hour battery. I found the battery life to be very inconsistent. I'd get 6.5 hours, sometimes 7. There was one day I managed to get 8 hours. And I'd say I'm pretty much constant and consistent every day with my usage. But on the whole, I think the battery life could be a hell of a lot better. But like I said, you do get the 65 watt super dart charger. Chuck that in for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you're pretty much 50% full there already. So that definitely makes up for the poor battery life. So if you're looking for a mid-range smartphone and you've got a £400 spare, this could definitely be a very good option. But I know also a lot of you are looking at the Poco F3 as well. It's got the slightly slower chipset of the Snapdragon 870. I did do a camera comparison on both of these, which you can see in the card at the top there if you want to check that out. So a lot of you are having that toss up between them two. And like I said in that video that I did the other week, it's very, very difficult to choose. Obviously you lot can decide on that in the end. But the Realme GT on its own, without comparing it to anything else, is a very good handset for £399. Flagship specs pretty much everywhere, but the camera department does let it down. Battery life could be better as well. And I'd like to see an IP rating and wireless charging as well, but obviously that's going to bump the price up. But yeah, that's the Realme GT. I've had a pleasure using it. Thanks again to Tech Tablets and Realme for the chance, to test this and review it. Any questions, pop them down in the comments below. Give the video a thumbs up, and if you like this sort of content, then do subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.